Thank you very much. Actually, great for me to be back on stage here in Sydney. If I'd known Bernadette, actually, I would have done a wardrobe check with you and would have definitely put my favorite Campbell Soup shirt today. So we have a little bit of coordination, but I missed out on that opportunity. Definitely good to be back here. As I said, we're here. I was here on stage, and I'm here very regularly 2.5 years ago for our first Brand Connect event in APAC. And it was a really exciting time for us, and we talked about a lot of really interesting things at the time. We talked about our membership, the scale of that membership in this market and across Asia, how fast we were growing. We also talked about how you as marketers were able to leverage that membership in many ways through communities and through amazing targeting capabilities. But a lot has happened really over the past 2 years. And the main thing that actually has happened is about content. And it didn't really happen just for LinkedIn. I'll talk about how it happened for LinkedIn, but it happened in the world of marketing, and that's what I find really, really interesting. In the meantime, we happen to have become the largest business publishing platform in the world. So we have a lot to talk about today. Now, everything starts with the consumers, as always, and we live in a very connected world. Actually, our kids will live in a connected world for all their lives. I'm trying to get my 3-year-old daughter to stop putting her fingers all over my living room TV because she assumes that this thing is, of course, connected and, of course, touch. And so she's probably right. The world she's going to be living in is actually going to be connected and maybe touch or other interfaces. We go online for everything. We go online for news. We go online for education. We go online for all sorts of insights. We definitely go online to connect with people, connect personally, and connect professionally. You even have a lot of us now that are getting into a new movement called the quantified self. And just yesterday, our friends at Apple just released a set of new products, including an Apple Watch and a phone that actually has a huge emphasis on health and measuring everything you do every day, how many steps you're taking, how many kilometers you're running, how long you're swimming and biking, what that means and how you can keep yourself active. And along the lines, they are measuring and taking data permanently around you. That obviously creates a huge shift in consumer behavior. And the way we consume content and engage with content have, of course, changed along the way. And so, when you think about technologies that have had a huge impact on the way we actually consume content, obviously mobile phones are massive. And so, for example, at LinkedIn, when we look at this, we tend to look at it across different devices and different platforms, smartphones, tablets, desktop. And we look at what our members are doing at different times of the day. And you have a graph here that represents that. The reality is some people are using their mobile phones right away in the morning, checking out on news. Other people are checking out on their day, what's going to happen. Later on, they will be sitting at their desk and will use their desktop to check out on connections, news, and other features and other insights that's going to make them better professionals. And then they go back home in the evening and discreetly, while their wife is watching some TV, pulling out their iPad and doing a little bit of work, a little bit of checking of emails and other things and consumption around the web. And so the reality is we've changed in the sense that we don't wait for news anymore to come to us. We go and get news, insights, and information when we want, when we need it, and we use the platforms and means that we believe are going to be useful. And that change is driving a lot of really important change in the buying cycle. There is a number of research now that are showing that before anyone gets in touch with you as a brand or you as a product owner, people like us do 60 to 70% of the decision journey on their own. We go around the web, we search, we connect with our connections business, professionals and personal, to find out what's the best solutions for what we're trying to solve for. And we don't go anymore into a camera shop, for example, and say, hey, Mr. Salesman, I'm on the market for a camera. What do you have for me? We don't do this anymore. We either go on an e-commerce platform, or we go to that same shop and say, can you show me camera A, camera B, and camera C? And it's exactly the same in the world of B2B. that concept of shortlist is extremely important because the reality for your business is that if you're not on that shortlist, your chances of closing a piece of business is 0. It's not going to happen. The product that's going to be bought is going to be from one of those ABC company or ABC product. They've done their homework. They've looked at the feature they wanted. They have an understanding of how much they want to pay. And that change, obviously, is creating a really different challenge in terms of how you as brand should think about getting into that consideration set. What we believe at LinkedIn is that content is actually the bridge that helps you build relationship with the audience that matters to you. And I should say relevant, contextually relevant, good content is what's going to create that relationship. And that's extremely important. Now, you want to think and look at how people consume that content, or maybe we should actually just step back and look how content used to be consumed or used to be produced. That's the old model of content. I spent a big part of my career actually in publishing, working for not the Australian, but the Wall Street Journal, for example. The way newspapers are made are quite amazing. 4 or 5 people, editors, have to decide every day, among all the news that are happening in the world, the 3 or 4 things that are going to make the front page and the 20 or more informations that are going to make their newspaper. To do that, they have no data whatsoever. They don't know who you are as a reader. They don't know what you care about. And they don't know the industry or the job that you're doing. That's a difficult job. They're extremely smart people. I know a lot of them. But they have a really difficult task. And that's how content is still, in some instances, built and delivered to you. Result for me, I don't know how that works for you. I usually read newspaper in the plane because they make me switch off all my electronic devices. And I spend a lot of time in planes. And so what it does and how I do it is I browse through a 32, 48 pages newspaper and usually browse through it pretty quickly, identify the 3 stories that I care about, read those stories, and move on. I consume about less than 10% of the content that a lot of people work really hard putting together. Now, how content actually lives through LinkedIn is very different. The editor, or the editors, are your network. We have the privilege to have more than 1.5 million actually, publishers that are distributing their content through our platforms. And the privilege to have 330 million members that are consuming that content on our platforms, and not only reading, but liking, commenting, and sharing that content. Sending us a number of signals that we can then use and reproduce to deliver to each and every one of you a tailored reading experience. We know what your network is reading. We know what people in your industries are reading, what people, like-minded people are reading. And from there, and from their likes, share, and comment, we derive signals and we build a reading experience for you. And we believe that's the future, and that's how we're all going to want to consume our content going forward. Now, if you transfer that into the marketing world, the same relevancy applies to your marketing. You need to think about it exactly the same way. Another very important way and very great way we've used to actually derive great content and create great content on the platform is our influencer program. And so you have here a bunch of people that there's we started with about 100. We now have come up with a list of 500 influencers, and we've selected them very, very carefully, from Bill Gates to Barack Obama to Mikita Nissan, as business influencers, business leaders, academics, politicians, people that wanted to have a voice and influence through our platform. You will hear from 2 of them later today. Naomi Simpson was the founder of Red Balloon, and Jeff Winter was our CEO. Both of them are actually influencers and publishing long-form content on our platform. What's really interesting here is you're talking about LinkedIn members, high-profile LinkedIn members, writing content for LinkedIn members on LinkedIn. And so the relevancy and the context here is amazing. And so if you look at someone like Richard Branson, he's got 6.3 million followers on LinkedIn. This is the biggest followership he has on any social platform. And believe me, the guy is social. He's everywhere, from Google+ to Twitter to Facebook. But because what he talks about is around leadership, management, entrepreneurship, stuff that I am interested about, by the way, this is where he's getting the most relevant audience. Well, the other thing that we've created here is a new layer of connection. You know, on LinkedIn, you used to be about connecting. And the way I connect with people personally, I connect with people that I meet in business. So if I haven't met you, I won't connect with you. And so would I like to connect with Sir Richard Branson? Obviously. Have I done business with him? Do I know him? No, I don't. Am I interested in what he's got to say and his voice as an entrepreneur and someone that I admire as a business leader? Absolutely. So we're going to start by following him, and that's how I do it. Now, we've taken that concept of original content by members for members to the next step now. And all of our 313 million members are now able to blog long-form content on our platform. Each and every one of you can do it. And I actually started to do it. It was a little bit scary at the beginning. I worked on it. I published my first post about a month ago. And it's amazing. I just checked it before coming in. Over 2,000 people read my story. Over 150 plus actually took the time to like it or write a comment about it. That's something that I would have never hoped and never thought that I could have made an impact on. So I would encourage each and every one of you, as experts, as professionals that have an opinion and things to say, to really take the time and think about whether you want to do this and potentially write your first story and see the kind of feedback and the kind of value that you can extract from that, because this is extremely powerful. Now, all that content and high-value content coming through our platforms has completely transformed our feed. And it's transformed another thing that has been quite impressive for me. I've been slightly over 3 years with the company. It's the way now our members are using our platform. What we see now is that our members are spending 7x more time reading content on LinkedIn than they are engaging with job-related features on the platform. I don't know how many of you found your job through LinkedIn, but I'm pretty sure quite a few. I won't do you the show of hands, but I know it. And this is quite unbelievable for us, coming from a place where we've disrupted massively the world of talent management and recruiting, to realize that we're getting to a place where we're not delivering on our third value proposition to our members, which is knowledge. And really helping each and every of our members to become better professionals, to be better at what they do. And that's how they use our platform. They use our platform for this morning meeting that I talked about and this awareness. They use our platform to identify the right partners. They use our platform in so many ways that we didn't think they would. And so that has created unique opportunities for you as marketers to insert you into that journey and that content journey. And so we've developed product around sponsored content, a product called Sponsored Updates that we launched now a little bit less than a year ago, that really allow brands to distribute the right content to the right people in the right timing and in the right context. And context matters a lot. I talked a lot about content, and I do personally think, and when we advise and we work closely with our customers, that thinking about the context in which you're going to be distributing that content is extremely important. And here I've taken an example around the 3 main Western social platforms, and looking at it through the angle of trending content. All of us have tools to really look at what's trending on our platform. And if you think about the Facebook and Twitter world here, what you see is a lot of the engagement is around celebrities and around entertainment. So you've got the Kim Kardashian, Katy Perry conversations going on. If you look about Twitter, it's a lot about what's happening in the moment, an event that is happening, news that is happening in the moment. But it also has a very strong angle around personal entertainment, fun. Now, if you look at how we do it at LinkedIn and what we do at LinkedIn and what you guys are talking about when you're on LinkedIn, leadership, iPad, cloud computing, employee engagement, self-esteem, management, leadership, again, web marketing, internal comms, real estate, business, very, very different topics. So the types of conversation that you're going to be inserting yourself into is going to be very, very, very different from what it would be on other social platforms. We do actually spend a lot of time with our marketers and clients, really helping them understand that. We have the benefits to have tools one tool called Trending Content that allow us to really help you narrow down who's your audience and what is your audience talking about at this moment in time. What are the stories that are engaging your audience at this moment in time to help you document your content strategy and to get a sense of that context. We reverse things where we're also looking at what your brand is standing for. Are you about social responsibility? Are you about innovation? And we can tell you reversely what are the industries, the people, the kind of people on the platforms that are actually truly engaged and interested in what you have to say and your voice on that matter, so that you can target these people and leverage their interest for those types of topics. And so context matters, and this is something that I want to leave you with. So there's 4 essential things that I'd like to leave you guys with today as we're getting to the end of the presentation. The first one is LinkedIn has become the largest business publishing platform in the world. And that creates tremendous opportunity for youth brands to insert yourself into that journey and to insert yourself into that consideration set that your customers are going through. Think about the 60% that we've talked about. Consumer behaviors have totally changed. We have changed the way we buy. And there is a reality that, and Bernadette talked a little bit about it, that truthfully, the way we brand and the way we market hasn't changed at the same pace. And so the work that we can do together with you, your agencies, your talent, to help you embark that journey is also extremely important. You're going to have to change the way you do things, or a lot of you will have to change the way you do things. I'm sure some of you are already very involved into content marketing. The third part is content is the bridge. Not any content, valuable content, content that's going to help me answer the question, not advertorial, content, truly high-quality content. Now, the truth is that content doesn't need to be original content from your brand specifically. You can position yourself as curators. You don't have to reinvent and rewrite everything. A portion of the content probably needs to come from you, not the entirety of it. But it's extremely important because this is how you're going to recreate that connection. This is how you're going to get into that shortlist A, B, C that we talked about. And that's really important. And lastly, context matters. So that's it for me today. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be back here. Apparently, I brought you back the sunshine. I heard that there's been 22 days of rain. I'm going to take credit for that. And I'm really happy to be here today. Thank you very much.